We're gonna play the rest of our sets for the day live here. I just tried to do one, but I realized I wasn't live, so hopefully we are now back in business. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to watch the live chat so I can respond if anyone jumps in. Awesome. All right. Well, let's go. I don't know how many sets left I have for the day, but I think we might still be grandfathered into our 10 sets for the World Championship. Not sure. So we'll kind of just play until we get the big red and hit the maximum number of sets for the day. But this is my practice live stream. I'm gonna be in New York City for GoFest, so I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing here and have all the kinks worked out for going live. There, so I can bring you guys some what it's like to be in New York City during the big GoFest event. So what you just saw there, we had a bad matchup with Toxicroak up against Charizard. They usually build up to Blast Burn and then they throw, so I was able to catch that on our Umbreon here. And then they brought in Cresselia, which that's unfortunate for them. Definitely can't do much to our Umbreon here, especially if they're going to throw Grass Knot trying to bait us. And we obviously have the advantage here, but it really is going to depend on if they're trying to fight us for switch advantage or for the lead here or not. So we'll see if they shield this. Yeah, they're just kind of letting it go through. If they don't have Moonblast, there's not much it can do. They may have thrown that Grass Knot to throw us off. But honestly, I mean, we have our Obstagoon in the back. Yeah, there we go. I think we're gonna, we get to another charge move here, and then we're not gonna KO them, but they're gonna be nice and real low. And we'll bring in our Obstagoon if they win this. It's gonna be close. Because the Umbreon is really tanky. You know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and shield this just because I think I might be able to win it and take switch. Yeah, nice. Look at that. Okay, so cool. They're going to bring that Charizard back in, no doubt about it. And then we'll be able to come in. Yep. So we get to bring in our Obstagoon, which is definitely not a good matchup for us either. But it's a lot better than our Toxicroak would do against it because we aren't sustaining super effective damage here. They are probably just throwing they just throw a Blast Burn. That stings. That stings a lot. And then they bring in Greninja. Okay, we're gonna Greninja's so spammy. Don't love that. We're gonna swap. We gotta try and get their shield off. We have 2 charge moves on our Obstagoon now, which are gonna come in handy against that Charizard. The Hydro Cannon might KO us here. It's gonna be really close. Yeah, crap. Okay, that's not great for us. It's not great. We got a shield, so we're probably in trouble because we're only 1 charge move away from them KOing us here. I don't think they're gonna get to it. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Well, we lost this match. That's okay. Good game for our opponent here. It was close. That's the main thing about these games is that you're usually 1 or 2 moves away from winning or not. Hey Lucas, thanks for watching. Do you play PvP much? Let's see what they're gonna run on the board here. Alright, so they're gonna probably, I see this a lot, they probably are gonna swap out thinking that we're running counter. They stay in, so that's brave of them. Usually people fast swap. They're gonna throw an Icicle Spear, and we're not gonna have to shield that. Not PvP. Yeah, Pokemon Go is great. PvP, I got into it because there's, if you are the cream of the crop and if you can get to what they call Legend, you get a really cool exclusive Pikachu, which is amazing. It's they call it Pikachu Libre, is I think what they call it. It's so cool. It's like the hardest Pokemon to get, and that's kind of my goal is to get to Legend to get that, but I haven't had the best of it. It's tough. There's some people that are really good. But it's fun because every so often, oh man, they have Tapu Fini. That would have been great to have our Toxic up against. So this match just became very tough because it's going to resist all the damage that we have between our Obstagoon and our Umbreon. So this is going to be tough. But anyways, as I was saying, Lucas, yeah, what got me into PvP was that you can get this Pikachu Libre if you get to Legend status, and then it's kind of just fun to try your best to get there. But you can also get a lot of Stardust, and it's a really good incentive to spend your Stardust rather than just sit on it. So I usually try and build teams, try and figure it all out. And then along the way, you earn a good amount of Stardust. You can get some shiny Pokemon encounters, or you can get some encounters with Pokemon that aren't usually in the wild very often. So like I actually just posted a short not too long ago where yesterday I was able to get shiny Cresselia, which I've been waiting all week with my free raid pass to try and get shiny, but I actually was able to get the shiny Cresselia from a PvP reward, which was icing on the cake for why I enjoy it. And I've gotten a few perfect legendary and a few shiny from PvP as well. So it's been fun. And this matchup actually just took an interesting turn for us because I had Giratina in the back, and we were able to beat their Tapu Fini. And so now we have shield advantage with Umbreon coming out in here against Giratina. So we unless something goes horribly wrong here, we're gonna win. So that's nice. Love it when that happens. That was it didn't look like that was gonna be the case when they brought in that Tapu Fini and our Toxicroak was dead. So this was an interesting turn of events. Takes a while though, because we don't take much damage, and one of the things about Umbreon is Umbreon does a lot, or has a lot of bulk. It can stand up to a lot of damage, but it is not the fastest at dishing out damage. So we're gonna kind of just have this be a slow burn. I would have thought that our opponent here would have probably top left, but they're fighting in and seeing what they can do. Even though we have shield advantage with Umbreon, who can really go all the way at it. Oh, okay, they're still playing a little bit. And this should do it. This fast move should take it down. I wish at some point in these matches too, like in a match like this where it was like very clear who the winner was, and like there was no strategy that could get you through it. It'd be nice if there was like a speed the match up kind of a button, because otherwise you get stuck there for a while. And sometimes when it's a matchup like that where it's like very clear that someone's going to win, but you have two very bulky Pokemon that just take all day to clear out, that you actually end up running up against the time clock. And the nice thing about that time clock is that usually the game knows who's going to win and then will award the winner. And this is an interesting matchup. Ouch, 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 ouch. I didn't realize they were in confusion. That's dumb. They're going to be running counter. We got out of there. It's all good. They're probably... Oh, they're going to really throw... Oh, yeah. I was not going to shield that, and then I realized what they might have. Ladders. Okay. That's unfortunate, because our counter movers are off the field. Again, Umbreon here super bulky, so it's going to be able to sustain quite a bit of damage. But at the same time, we're not going to be giving out much damage, so this is going to be a long fight until one of us gets our switch clock and can come back in with a better Pokemon. Let's throw another move, try and burn that clock. We've almost got our Obstagoon ready to come in here, which I'm almost tempted maybe even not to, because as soon as we swap, they're going to swap, and they would probably bring in their Gallade. Their Gallade can't do much to Obstagoon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, the Gallade can't do much to Obstagoon, but we can do some good damage here. We're going to not shield this as well. Could be a Skull Bash. I don't think Yeah, okay, it's just a swap. I'm surprised they're not swapping, and which is nice because we can farm here and be prepared for that Glade. What are they gonna bring in? What do they have in the back? Are they coming back in? Like, Glade can't do much to us here, so they would... Okay, wow. Wow, okay, that's really lucky. We're kind of stuck, though, here, because if we swapped to... Because ideally we would swap to our Toxicroak to do some damage here, because that would be favorable, as opposed to waiting for our Toxicroak to fight the Glade, which we know is going to just crush it. But if we swap, they're going to swap. So we kind of need to sit here, and the play becomes to try to catch a move on Toxicroak instead. So let's see. We also have Umbreon alive still, so we might even bring in Umbreon and hope that they. So I was actually thinking about swapping the Umbreon and seeing if they forced swapped, thinking that we were going to Toxicroak, but they actually beat us to go into their Glade, which means that we could bring in our Umbreon. So we got lucky there that they swapped and we got switch advantage, and we were able to react fast. But they're gonna go ahead and use a Leaf Blade here, which is gonna not actually KO us. We'll see if they shield here. They might, just because there's no other reason not to, and then they might get to another. Yeah, I figured they should. We might actually. Oh, I like that. Umbreon's so tanky. That confusion from the Glade is very slow too, so you're able to sneak some fast moves in there. And that's going to be a good game here. So GG's. We're going to take this. And a little bit of Spirit. So I think that now makes us 2 for 4 on this set. The goal is always to go positive in these sets. If you go positive, you climb in your ELO. So you can see here our ELO 2204. And you can see how many wins and how many battles we've done this season. But the goal is to get to, if you win 3, you get a Pokemon encounter. So you can see some of the options there. You get the Excadrill, you get Squavit. So some of the things that aren't immediately in the wild often, so like Squavit, not very often in the wild. You do get that legendary possibility in the very last slot. Phalanx, I've never seen Phalanx in the wild. And again, any Pokemon here that can have a shiny can be shiny here as well, which I've gotten some pretty good luck with. I've also gotten quite a few perfects from PvP, which is really cool too. And over the past weekend, this was really cool. So usually in PvP, your wild encounters there, they kind of fit into the same mold of field research, meaning that they have an IV floor, so the lowest possible catch IV that you'll normally have is 666 there, which is kind of terrifying. Oh wait, no, sorry, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, not 666. Okay, that's better. But over the weekend for Worlds, they actually made that where the floor was removed and you could get any IV. And IV, if you know anything about PvP or if you're familiar with it, IV is pretty important to your likelihood of winning a match. It's not the end-all be-all, but it definitely helps. But they removed that so you can get any IV, which is also kind of cool, especially for some of the rarer rewards in that, like Squabit, like Phalanx. So one of the Phalanxes that I caught was actually a little bit lower IV than the typical 10-10-10, and that'll be a better battler for me in the future. So switching back to this battle here, okay, so we are up against the Buzzwole, which is a positive matchup for our Toxicroak. It being half poison resists the counter that it's throwing. And then, as you can see, the fast move, or the charge moves that it has with Power Up and the Lunge. They're gonna beat us here, which sucks. I should have shielded that second one, but they're out of shields now. It being bug and fighting means that it's gonna be resisting anything that we have here now. So we have Umbreon, and then we have the Obstagoon. It's gonna resist all of the stuff, and it's gonna also have very effective damage against us. So our play here is just to really survive. And we're gonna shield this now. This Buzzwole is strong, man. Alright, we're gonna flap. so we cleared our debuff on our Umbreon. It's got a charge move. They have no shield. Our Togekiss, man. Oh, that's a bummer. So yeah, we're gonna lose this one, and it's gonna be a not positive set for us. So our elo is gonna drop a little bit. Not playing as good as I wanted to for you guys. Sorry about that. This matchup has been brutal. But we'll see how the next set goes. Yeah, we'll just let them have it. There's no point in us fighting on that now. So good games here. GG's. That Togekiss, very, very strong. The play there would have been to have that fight against our Toxicroak, but us swapping out of Toxicroak against a Buzzwole didn't make sense, so we were kind of stuck on that one. Alright, let's see. Our elo drops to 2190, so that's not great. Legend is 3000, so to get to Legend, you need to win a lot, and every win is worth about 14 elo points. Every loss is worth about -7, so you need to end up winning more than you lose. It's a whole calculation is very difficult. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll, to the best of my ability, answer them, because I'm still learning it as well. Alright, let's see what we got here. I saw a mini key. That's kind of cool. Okay, cool. So this is a nice matchup for us. Again, same thing as that Buzzwole. We don't want us. We can't swap out here, because if we swapped out any of our, they swap, so that's fine, and then we can go into our Obstagoon here, which is going to do neutral damage. But we couldn't have swapped out of that rematch, because sure, it may put us in worse shape in the back game, but we couldn't, bring something into that Virizion, and our Pokemon would have just been annihilated by it. So the same situation is with that Buzzwole. It didn't make sense for us to swap in something else, and then we obviously paid for it by there being a Toxicroak or being a Togekiss in the back, and we kind of paid the price there. This worked out a little bit more favorably for us. This Drapion can't do too much here. Ooh, except if it throws that. I got Shadow, so Shadow can pack a punch with that Sludge Bomb. But we still should win this. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. We might. Well then, we bring back Toxicroak. And do I want to shield this? I do want to shield this. It wouldn't have done. It would have been not very effective, but it would have still packed a punch given that it's Shadow. Okay, so that is interesting, and it's going to make this tough, because this year we really have to put all our faith into our Toxicroak here, because it's going to be the thing that wins the game for us. We're going to actually have to play this smart, because they're going to probably shield this Mud Bomb, and then we're going to need to and want to catch on our Umbreon here. Okay, so we caught on our Umbreon, which is good. We get to preserve the health of our Toxicroak there. That still doesn't guarantee us the win here. It's going to be tough, because they're going to probably swap into Virizion here, and they're going to just farm us down. Actually, well, okay, they're going to go ahead and throw. We need to try and get this as low as we can here. So we're going to try and build up to our last resort. We're going to hope that they don't shield that. They're throwing way too fast. If I was them, I would have been farming down this Umbreon and bringing in some charged energy into the Toxicroak, because their concern with my Toxicroak is that our fast move is what's going to take that down. We have that poison. Their lead